Things you should not do while visiting Ireland. If this is your first time visiting Ireland, you undoubtedly can't wait to see all the sights the nation has to offer. Even though your itinerary is your main concern, you should be aware of all the tourist mistakes to avoid when visiting Ireland. In Ireland, what is it you can't do? There are many things in Ireland that are deemed rude or simply silly, but the nation also has several intricate laws. I have some helpful tips about what not to do in Ireland. Number 12. Never make fun of or mock the Irish language. If meeting locals and having a good time are your main objectives, try really hard not to make fun of their accents. Talk with your natural accent instead of attempting to mimic the Irish accent. We assure you that no one wishes to hear your negative opinion of an Irish person. Additionally, keep in mind that the Irish people are proud of their Gaelic language heritage. Don't torture the language if you don't know it or understand it. Just use English. The typical Irish sayings that you've heard in the movies are something else to stay away from. Number 11. Don't have bad road etiquette. Other than knowing which side of the road to drive on, there is a lot to know about driving in Ireland. You may be preoccupied with planning your idyllic road trip through Ireland, but you also need to know how to blend in. The fact that drivers in Ireland virtually always acknowledge one another when driving is a significant aspect of driving etiquette. It's customary to say hello to the person in the car passing you, even if you don't know them. This greeting is frequently expressed with a straightforward finger twitch, which is simply one finger moving slightly while the other hand remains firmly gripping the steering wheel. Generally speaking, drive carefully, share the road with everyone, and try not to bring your home anger with you. It's crucial to know how friendly people are before visiting Ireland. Number 10. Keep to the right side of the road when driving. This is important because it could cause chaos if you've never driven in Ireland before and you're used to driving on the right side of the road. It's actually among the most crucial things to be aware of before visiting Ireland. Ireland is one of the countries that drive on the left side of the road, and they also drive cars with right side driver's seats. Even if you're not driving, it's good to remember this because you need to look in the right and left direction as a pedestrian before crossing any road. If you need tips on driving, I wrote a thorough article based on my experience driving in Ireland. And if you don't feel brave enough to drive, you can easily visit Ireland without a car. Number 9. Avoid smoking indoors. A ban on smoking in enclosed public areas was enacted by the Irish government in May 2007. This ban extends to Dublin's bars and workplaces. You don't want to add more cost to your trip to Ireland by breaking the law, as there will be a sizable fine imposed. Hence, smoking is now only permitted indoors in one's own house or the homes of close friends and relatives. Whenever possible, go outside to smoke your cigarettes for safety. Number 8. Don't drink in public. Drinking in public places is one of the most important Ireland laws for visitors, which carries heavy fines for anyone who dares to break it. Pubs and restaurants are great, of course, but drinking is not permitted in parks, beaches, or other public areas. It's usually better to be safe than sorry, even though the Republic of Ireland's tourism and local laws are not as stringent as those in Northern Ireland. Substance abuses, anyone under the age of 18, and excessive intoxication in public are additional drinking-related offenses that can result in jail time. Number 7. Say nothing of Ireland's membership in the British Isles. This is an unforgivable assignment. Even if geography wasn't your best subject in school, find out all the interesting facts about Ireland before you go. First of all, it is untrue Ireland is an entire island unto itself. However, since the nation struggled to free itself from British domination, they would prefer that you leave that particular chapter of history intact. Furthermore, Irish people and British people are not the same. They are as distinct as Portuguese and Italian people. Just to be safe, avoid discussing anything British when in doubt. Here's a big guide to what not to do when visiting Ireland. Number 6. It's not St. Patrick's Day. Since it isn't. It's St. Patrick's Day, or you can abbreviate it to St. Paddy's Day if you're too tired to say the entire name. There is a difference, and since it's one of the cultural do's and don'ts in Ireland, you might very well be told if you make a mistake. And while we're about it, the best celebrations are on St. Paddy's Day. However, be advised that drinking may last the entire day. Instead of attending the parades and celebrations at night when things can get pretty wild, try to take it slow and enjoy them during the day. Number 5. Don't claim to be Irish. Although you should be proud to have ancestors from this intriguing nation, the Irish believe that if you were not born and raised in Ireland, you are not Irish. Just refrain from declaring outright that you are Irish simply because your great-grandparents were born there. So while you're here, at least you're American. Once you're back home, you can resume boasting about your Irish heritage. To be honest, when I heard this, I was apprehensive because my grandfather was born in Donegal. When I tried telling a few locals that I was Irish, I could see that they were trying not to roll their eyes. However, when I mentioned the very small town that my grandfather was from, only then did they want to have a conversation about it. Number 4. Don't talk about the Civil War. For those who experienced it, the Irish Civil War was devastating and the subject is still very sensitive today. Bringing it up will only make for very long and occasionally heated conversations that will not be enjoyable for anyone. Generally speaking, it's best to mention not to be insensitive to the unstable past of the nation. Ireland has experienced a great deal of hardship, and these issues are still somewhat touchy. Saying that you are employed in finance or at a bank is included in this because of the awful financial crisis. Number 3. Please don't take offense at the jokes or profanity. The Irish enjoy taking the piss, which is just their friendly way of making fun one another, isn't nearly as offensive as it sounds. This entails using wit, sarcasm, humor, and if you're the target, a fair amount of thick skin. It's common to hear this banter in pubs and social settings, so if you find yourself the target of what looks like a roast, it's probably not. You can respond directly as well, just be jovial in your tone. By adopting this mindset, you'll make a ton of friends rather than picking fights over it. So remember one of the most important do's and don'ts when traveling in Ireland. The quantity of swearing you'll hear in conversation is another thing that, while it may not be natural where you are from, is considered normal in Ireland. Once more, this is not intended to offend anyone, so try not to take it personally. Instead, embrace Irish culture and be aware of appropriate conversation topics when in Ireland. Number 2, don't leave a tip at the pub. The pubs are wonderful settings for unwinding, having fun, and dining with new acquaintances, despite the fact that they most likely differ from what you are accustomed to at home. When visiting Ireland, it's crucial to be aware of one of the most crucial things not to do. Ireland's pubs don't have table service, so you'll have to order at the bar for everything, including food. At pubs, though, tipping is not customary as it is in similar establishments in America and other countries. If you truly want to leave a small note of appreciation, you won't be stopped, but you might get a few strange looks. Number 1. Don't travel the typical tourist route. That's one of the things visitors should avoid doing in Ireland and one of the main complaints Irish people have about them. If you only spend 3 days in Dublin, you won't have the chance to experience much of this island. However, you can learn more about the city by reading up on all the interesting trivia about Dublin. When creating your itinerary, be sure to include destinations like Belfast, Galway, and the Cliffs of Moher. Yes, they are a little touristy, but they are well worth the half-day trip. You should also allocate some time for a visit to Killarney. Please use the comment section to share any more ideas you may have, and don't forget to subscribe.